Thanks, boss. You're a chief, man. 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 Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. You're a chief, man. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog.
Hey guys, we're here today for another edition of Roblox Reviews. Today we have Logan. I'm your boy Campo.Reviews and I'm here with my boy Bargo.
Hey guys, how's it going? So Campo, what'd you think about Logan?
It was pretty good. I really liked the little girl. I thought she was awesome. Daphne Keane.
Laura Howlett?
Yeah, she was awesome. Like the way she just like murders everybody. I thought that was pretty sick. What about you?
Yeah, she was good. She was probably one of the best parts about the movie. I think getting to see a little vintage Wolverine there at the end really impressed me. I thought we were going to see some old man the whole time. But once he got that juice in him, he was good to go.
Yeah, that was sick. When he got juiced up, it was like Weapon X. You know, X-Men Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
At that, when he goes crazy and he goes and he's just like murdering everybody. That's
Yeah.
literally what it reminded me of. That was pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. I didn't like at the beginning. I was kind of skeptical about it, how like weak and old and brittle Wolverine looked, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be one of those where he's like fighting like an old war vet."
I wish they explained it,
like how he got to that point.
Yeah, because like if you read the comics, you know, but you didn't read it, so like if you're just going into that, you're like, "What happened?" It doesn't explain to you. They hint at like, "Oh, I killed everyone," you know, like Professor X, whatever. The spoilers. But, yeah, like, I don't know. They don't explain to you anything. Like, there's no X-Men. There's no more mutants. Where did the mutants go? Tell me something about what happened.
To be honest with you, like, not knowing anything about the comics and watching it for the first time, and I had to ask you at the end, like, where do they go from that? And you're just like, all the X-Men are dead. X-Men doesn't exist anymore. That kind of changes a lot, too, right? Because you still have a lot of the same mutant powers with other characters, but nobody knows anything about them because they're kids, and you only saw maybe 3 or 4 out of, like, the 10 kids that were there. Their actual abilities, right?
Yeah, but if you're jumping into this movie, like your first X-Men movie, like I could see that you could get away with not knowing anything because the movie doesn't lead directly from something. It's kind of like a story you could just jump into, but at the same time, if you're a real movie person, those things are gonna get to you. Like, why don't I know anything that happened? They keep referencing something, but there's no like. You know what I mean? Like they keep hinting towards something, but they never tell you what happened, and you're always like, what's going on?
Yeah, and to go back to what you were saying about Wolverine, how like you didn't really know what was going on with him or anything. Like he walked around with a limp for the whole movie, and like at the end of it all, like you can determine that I guess it's from the metal that's making him sick. But realistically, like when the doctor said I can help you, let me run some tests, blah blah blah. Obviously, Wolverine knew it was a danger, but to stay there, obviously, because we'll find the kid and him.
No, that's a perfect example. If I didn't tell you that it was the metal that made him sick, you never would have known because they don't tell you anything. They just keep saying something inside you's disease or something, you know?
Yeah, and I also recommend watching the other X-Men movies before watching this. Like, if you're just going to jump into it, like, obviously you can watch it and understand what's going on, but it's good to know where they come from, like, especially the Wolverines. Like,
yeah, just not the origins, just don't.
I'm a fan of the origin
stories. Just read somebody's review about that, and you don't need to see that movie. It's like a Deadpool with no mouth, with sword hands, on a nuclear reactor.
Okay, yeah, that was a little cheesy, but I mean, like the Wolverine movies were good.
Yeah, the Wolverine was good.
Yeah.
Not Wolverine Origins. That movie sucked.
I don't know. If you don't know anything about them and you watch it, obviously the origin's gonna be good.
If you're gonna go all the way through, yes, I would just watch all of them, but. If you really don't want to waste your time, X-Men 3 Last Stand is brutal. And the X-Men Wolverine Origins is like maybe worse than that.
What do you think about some of like the fighting scenes? Like when, like I know obviously there was so many exchanges when Wolverine just put his claws through people's faces, and it was over and over again. Like it was good to see.
That was rated R at the finest. That was like 80 face stabs in a row. The one where he got the guy when he came in the door when it was vibrating, and he got him like that, and it came on the fucking top.
Professor X's brain cramps, I guess let's call them.
It was the seizures or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, he's brutal in it, but the girl is like 10 times worse. She literally just like murders like 40 people at once, and everyone's like, "What the hell just happened?"
She was bred for that. She wasn't even like born or anything. She was created.
When she's doing those flips, she keeps doing the flip and like pulling them over, and then when she was stabbing them, she stabbed them a lot of times. There was a lot of stabs.
She's like 18 stabs per 30 seconds.
They use the rated R to the max. There's a lot of F-bombs. They say fuck like every 30 seconds. There's one point where Wolverine just screams fuck in the middle of the street for like a minute straight.
Yeah.
And he breaks his truck apart.
Yeah. Also the villain, I guess, let's call him. The guy with the gold tooth.
Yeah.
I don't know his actual name.
There's not really a villain.
Well, he's pretty much the poacher, like more or less.
He's a villain, but for YouTube people, there's not really a villain in this movie. It's kind of just like an evil corporation that keeps sending waves of like people, but you never know the direct villain of who's doing it. Really,
I think the Doctor was probably the villain.
No, that's what I thought too.
How about when he released the younger version of Wolverine, like the remake?
The X-24.
Yeah, he was literally like Wolverine from day one.
Yeah,
that's what he looked like.
He looked really young. However, they did the CGI on that. That was good.
Oh, it was good.
All the graphics in this movie are amazing.
It was so smooth. Like, you couldn't even tell. Like, it looked like a real person.
They don't have a lot of graphics. Like, it's mostly, like, real, like fight scenes and stuff. Like, real, like, hand-to-hand. Like, they really did it live. Like, real stunts and stuff like that. And, like, the little girl, you could tell when they CG her. Like, obviously she can't do that, but... Like, it looks perfect. You can't even notice it.
No, it was really smooth.
There was a lot of those head flips when she kept doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else? Professor X, what did you think?
It was good to see him again, but I mean, he was kind of obsolete throughout the movie. I guess Wolverine was just taking care of him as like him thanking him in a way, kind of like appreciating him taking him into the house. And then
it was like he was his dad.
Yeah, taking him into the academy. It was like, yeah, literally.
And he had the girl was like his daughter.
Well, she was technically his daughter.
There's like an underlying subplot to this movie about family, and it's like you don't notice it until you really pay attention that it's about like enjoying your family, because he knows that he doesn't realize that he thinks he's doing everything for himself, but really he's doing it for other people. He just doesn't want to believe it. You know, like when they eat dinner with that family and like he sees it, you see that.
That's
like
why
he realizes this is my father, this is my daughter.
Yeah. That's why Professor X enjoyed it so much. Also, like at the end when Laura Howlett calls him dad, that kinders into the family thing as well. Like it shows that like it's kind of, she understands that technically like through birth, not her father, but
I like when she finally started speaking.
Yeah.
And she was like, what did she say?
Naming her friends. Bianca, Joseph.
No, she was like, Charles told me that you want to die, and
that I can't let that happen.
And then she's like, and he's like, what else did he say? Not to let you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's sick.
Yeah.
And then the girl takes care of him basically.
And it was cool too how she kept the bullet. That what's it called? Antinantium? Is that what it's
adamantium.
called? Adamantium.
That thing though, like you could tell that was gonna lead up to something though. Like it kind of felt forced. Like either I had two things in my head that she was gonna use it to shoot the other Wolverine once I found out about the other Wolverine. Before that, I didn't think that. I thought he was gonna get really hurt fighting somebody, and he was gonna tell her to kill him by shooting him in the head with the bullet. Right?
Well, yeah, like
she fucking blew his head apart.
Yeah, she took a corner piece off. But when they first brought it out, when the albino was cleaning his clothes and found the bullet and brought it out.
What was his name?
I can't recall, but
Calab.
I'm not sure. He gets kidnapped too.
Yeah, he was actually decent. He was a decent character. There's not a lot of characters. This movie doesn't have a lot of characters. It's mostly story driven and based on just those like three people with like a couple side stuff, right? Until you get those kids, there's nobody else really. The doctor comes in at the end, and then you have the poacher guy and whatever his name is, the albino.
Yeah.
There's nobody else.
Well, yeah, there's also the girl. I forget her name as well. Paula? The girl at the beginning that has Laura Howlett.
She's
in the first like 20 minutes. She's like how the doctor comes in the last 20 minutes.
She's there to wedge the girl's storyline into your life. Like,
well, she's there to kind of pawn the girl off to
I feel
Wolverine.
like she, knowing what she was, and that she escaped, that girl could have died, and the little girl with the comic books knew who she was looking for and just goes on her own, like using her smell, like Wolverine. No, like I'm found Wolverine. I think that would have been way cooler.
Like how she tracked him or whatever, saying like I need your help.
Yeah,
that
like,
would have been good.
If the little girl did it,
or even if Professor X, like, you know, you can communicate to mutants and saying like I'm talking to mutants now. There's more of us. Blah blah blah. When he was telling Wolverine,
and no one was believing him, and that was the girl he was talking to the whole time.
So he got to talk to the girl, but like it would have been cool if, instead of having this girl introduce Laura Howlett to us, have Professor X direct her to them at that junkyard site or the train site, whatever that is.
Yeah, okay, but you get what I'm saying. It would be cool if she did this on her own to find Wolverine,
yeah, exactly.
But not the lady trying to find Wolverine for her. Because like she read the comic, she sees her power, she knows that she's basically Wolverine.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, and I guess maybe because of what happened with Wolverine when those guys tried to jack his rims at the beginning, maybe that's how they found him.
Oh, and when you left to go to the washroom or whatever, there was a spot where you're like, what did you miss? There was nothing, but they were saying how she has the toe claw. They're like, because in the animal kingdom, the female animals, they hold on to creatures with their
claws,
their back legs, their front legs, and their toe is for like defense. So if the other animal attacks back and they can't use their hands, they kick it with the toe thing.
Yeah, that was also neat. That's how they slipped that in as well.
It was like only females have that or something.
Another thing too, I wonder with Wolverine is like, why didn't he use his bone claws? Like, you know how he couldn't get the third one out? Like maybe it was a fighting.
Those are his bone claws. His whole body.
No, he still has the bone claws.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Under the metal.
No, he has them separate.
No.
Yeah, it does, because in Wolverine,
his whole body, his whole skeleton. When you see the girl when they were showing the videos and the girl's cut open and you see like the stuff, because they cut open their bodies and all their bones are covered in that. That's why they're so
Wolverine,
strong.
It's forged to his structure.
Yeah, it's forged over his bone though.
No, but he still has in the other Wolverine when he kills the Japanese Juggernaut with the sword.
Yeah.
He pulls out his old school claws because it cuts off his claws, his metal claws, and then he pulls out the bone ones.
I literally don't know what you're talking about. Like, I remember that scene, but I don't think he could do that. But either way, he would need a sword, a heated up sword to like 10 million degrees, made out of the same thing his things were made out of, his claws, to cut it off. So it's not going to happen unless that girl's going to heat up her fucking claws and then cut off his. But then I kept thinking about, if only adamantium could kill someone adamantium. When he kept stabbing the other Wolverine in the face, why wasn't he dying? Because you're hitting him in the brain. You're going to shoot yourself in the head with the adamantium bullet and it's going to kill you. But when I stab you with the adamantium
it's not
claws...
going to cut your adamantium.
Yeah, like, I don't
that makes sense.
Like, I thought that too. I'm like, why didn't she... I would have liked to see... It's so brutal, but like, when he was dying, like him say, "You're the Wolverine now" or something, and then she like stabs him in the head or something, or like puts one claw like, you know, to take him out of his misery. That would have been sick, right?
Yeah,
I thought so too. But what else? The movie's a little bit long, but it paid off. I'm not upset about that.
Yeah, there was like a lot of drag on scenes, but they also led to something great.
That's
like,
why
they were informing.
There was nothing,
they weren't wasted.
None of the time that you feel like you're wasting, because there's parts where it's like drag on.
But they were talking about things you needed to hear.
You find out about things, but then it hits you with like an action moment, and like there's the action moments where, I won't say there's a lot, but there's enough, and they're constantly throughout the movie, so you never get bored. Every time something happens, you're like, as soon as you see that girl go off, every time you're like, you get goosebumps, like, holy shit, she's literally like murders.
Yeah.
You reminded me of the girl from Kick-Ass when she just starts fucking killing everybody.
True. Like, same style, like the spider monkey fighting. Yeah. But another thing too, like a lot of the things with the movie, I guess maybe the directing, you can kind of predict the action scenes, like you see them coming, you know when something is about to happen.
Yeah, but I agree with that. But whenever they came, you were never disappointed. You were every time.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like, when Wolverine was screaming at the end, I was literally getting chills. I was like, "That was so cool." Like I said to you before, it was like when you're watching Batman movie and you know it's coming to the end and like what's gonna happen. Then Batman comes and you're like, "Yeah, it's fucking Batman." It was like Wolverine, you know. Like if they could do some way to make Spider-Man like that, because like that's the only other hero Marvel has other than Wolverine that's on the caliber of like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Like, but it's such a child character. I don't think they could pull it off.
That's the structure of it, I guess. That's like the way the comics were from day one. I like the Amazing Spider-Man.
I like the first one. The first one is underrated, I think, but the second one is brutal. Jamie Foxx is like one of the worst performances ever in a superhero movie.
I wasn't a fan of that. It actually turned me off. I didn't want to watch it that much longer.
Like, Emma Stone is by far the best part of that movie.
That's because you just consider her a fox.
Yeah, I like foxes. I like motorcycles, gear. Anyways, I guess that's it. What would you... Ow. Hold on. Okay, anyways, so what would you rate this movie out of 100?
Up in the 80s, early 90s. I'd say probably like 89, 88.
I'd definitely drop an 85 on this. It's really good. Overall, everything about it is good. It's definitely probably cracked the top 5 superhero movies for me. I think it was better than Civil War. It might not have been as well placed action wise and like had so many epic action scenes, but like the story is really, it's the best X-Men movie, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. You get a chance, check it out. Theaters, bootleg, whatever you gotta do. Definitely worth a watch.
Other than that, what did you think of the Deadpool teaser trailer at the beginning?
Hilarious. I don't know much about what they're gonna release for a sequel, but pretty funny.
I like how he goes in the phone booth and the song playing is a Superman theme song.
Yeah.
And he's trying to save like a homeless guy in a laneway, and I thought that was hilarious. And on the
it was probably also a punch at Superman because like
yeah,
it shows
it
him
is, for
changing
sure.
in the booth, and it's like okay, like it's not as easy as him going in there spinning around in his uniform.
Deadpool's job is to poke fun at other superheroes, and like the way it said Scott Summers coming soon, I thought that was awesome. Or whatever his name is, Cable. And the background, I had the thing Logan playing at the movie theater, and then when he went in the laneway, it said Logan on the thing.
Yeah. And
then it played the theme song from the movie True Romance when he lies down on the guy and he like finds a yogurt or whatever, and he starts.
You can eat this? Don't take your time to answer.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Anyways, guys, that's it. Check this movie out. Check out the trailer for Deadpool. It's pretty sick. We'll be back soon with another review. Rock on.
Hey, what's up guys? We here at Roblox Games put a lot of time and effort into our content, and it would be very much appreciated if you could drop a like on this video, and if you enjoy this video, please subscribe to our channel for more content.